everybody. Hello, hello. How are we all? Hi, Vicky. Hi, let's start from the top. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Liz. Hi, Deb. Hi, Vicky. Hi, anybody else who is in lurking. Lurky. Hope you all had a good, well, we've done New Year's, haven't we? Have we done New Year's? Yeah, I think we did New Year's. You know, we lose track of days. I can't remember what day we last came on, to be fair. So I can't remember if we done New Year's last time we spoke. But if we didn't, hope you had a good New Year's. I don't know. Oh dear. What are we all doing? And also, what weather have you all got? Because in the UK here, we've got snow. Where I am, we've got snow. Not lots of it, but enough that it's, you know, it's there. And it's really dry, powdery snow as well. But the sun's just come out, so that's good. It snowed again last night. I think it's due to snow again this week, tomorrow, tonight. I don't know. Basically, this week it's due to snow. Hi, Carrie. So yeah, we have snow. Deb, I'm interested whether you guys have got snow where you are, and anybody else in the UK. Yeah, what's your weather looking like? Carrie, you've got cold and snow. Yeah. Good. Yeah, I mean, you're in Norway, so I would expect it from there, especially where you are, because you're northern, aren't you? So, yeah. But I don't mind snow. I don't like driving in it particularly, but I like looking at it. It's very pretty. And my next door neighbours have actually got their little Christmas lights still up, and they've got loads of little mini Christmas trees in their driveway, and they've got Christmas lights still up. And so it's really pretty with all the snow. The other morning I woke up and there was all snow all over the little mini Christmas trees, and then all the little twinkly lights. It was beautiful. Very nice indeed. Hi, Rose. Good morning and happy New Year's. We're a bit groggy and a bit cool in Orlando. Oh, okay. Liz, you're great. Trying to stay warm. You've got a cold, icy, stormy day. Oh, gosh. Okay. That doesn't sound too good. Louise, you got no snow. We're having a warm up this week. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you're warming up. Hi, Von. Is it cold in Dublin? Yes, I would imagine it would be. Hi, Doris. Oh, hello, Doris. Austria. Now, that is a place I have always wanted to go to. I've always wanted to go to Austria. Haven't made it yet, but I really do want to go. Liz, you're in Minnesota. Ah, yeah, of course. Fabulous. Wonderful. Deb, you only got a small smattering on Monday, but freezing. Yeah, I have to say, it was -4 last night, I think. -4, which is, I don't even know what that is in Fahrenheit, but yeah, it's cold. Yeah, we haven't had loads, but we've had enough, and it's stuck. Because normally when we have a small amount like we've had this time around, it's usually gone by like the next day. But obviously the sun's been out, but it's been so cold that it's stuck around. And then last night it snowed again. Well, this morning, kind of early morning, it snowed again. So yeah. Right, I suppose we better make a little start, hadn't we? Let's do all the little housekeeping bits that we have to do. So for anybody watching this back, this is a live stream, so it will be chatty. I will be doing an edited version of this. I probably won't do a new video. I'll probably just edit this one down, I reckon. It's just easier. It's a bit quicker in a way. Well, it sort of is and it isn't. But anyway, there'll be an edited version or a tutorial coming for this. So that is that. Massive thank you to all my members. And members, please check the community posts. I've put a little post out just to let you know about my email address, because obviously some of you are new members and you might not have seen my email address, so you might not realise, because that's one of your perks as a member, is that you have email access. So yeah, just go over and check that. And Nicole, particularly, I need you to email me, please. So if you can, then I can get yours sent out. I also need Bobby and Lessa Benson to email me or message me or whatever, however you're going to message me. Bobby, I have messaged you on Pinterest, so if you can reply back to that, and then I can get your prizes sent out. So this, you've got 3 prizes left to send out. Everybody else's prizes who won them has been sent. Those of you in America, probably it will take a little while to get to you, but I think it reckoned about a week. So hopefully by the end of this week you should have them. Hopefully, obviously there was New Year, wasn't there? So maybe add a little bit onto that, but hopefully you'll be getting updates on emails, because obviously you've got email and phone number. So hopefully they'll sort of let you know when it's arriving. But yeah, let me know when it gets here, just so I know it's arrived safely. Hopefully it won't take too much longer. But yeah, so that is that. And then obviously don't forget to like and subscribe and everything. Hi, Beth. And I would also like to see your versions of the card. I've got a Pinterest board. I need to keep an eye on it. I don't always have time to do it, bit. If you've done any of my tutorials, you've made your own versions of it, you can post your versions of what I've done on that board. Please don't put suggestions on there because I'll have to take them off. You can message me on Pinterest with any suggestions, and also on Reddit you can message me, and also on Instagram you can message me with anything you would like me to do. So that is that, and I've also got a Reddit community, so that's my Reddit community, so you can go over there and do that over there. Right, what else we got? Hi Marianne, and hi, I've said loads of Beth. Just trying to keep up with messages. Right, okay, so let's make a start. So I don't know how many of you remember from last week we did this card here. Well, my little brain got going, and I have done a video for 5x7 landscape version, but then, and that video is coming soon, and I was going to do that for today's live stream. However, I then started thinking about doing a portrait 5x7 version, and that is what we're going to do today. So the portrait version looks like this. So this is the portrait version. You've got 3, and you can change these up, so you can reorient these, and that's what I'm going to do with today's card. I'm using exactly the same colours and everything, but we're going to change these little pockets up a little bit. And you open it up, and you've got this inside. So this is the card for today, and then you can either write there, which there's space to if you wanted to, or you can put a white piece on the back and use that as your card. Hi Jeanette, good to see. Oh Jeanette, by the way, I haven't ignored, you know, all the, when you keep asking me for A5 versions of things, I've got them all ready, and I'm hoping at some point, probably February, I want to do a week where I do all giant version, all the ones you've requested, giant versions of cards I've already done. Okay, so that is coming. So I haven't ignored you, but I tend not to reply because then it still comes up on my little list of comments of things I need to action. So I kind of treat it like a to-do list. So I haven't forgotten, and I will be actioning them. Hopefully you haven't already worked them out, but anyway, you probably have. But yeah, so this is the card we're going to do today. Hi Elaine. Thank you everybody. Yeah, I really like this. So also I wanted to show you the papers that I've done. So obviously this looks like a pattern paper. It's not. It's a white piece of card, and then what I've done is I've stuck these over the top and made my own pattern papers. Now for those of you who saw my live stream that I did, not live stream, my video that I did for Journal Say, that is what this is. I don't know if you can see. These are, I thought these were just card die cuts, but they're actually not. They're actually stickers. Now, they're very delicate, so you have to be careful, but they are actually stickers. So you can peel them off, and then what I've done is I've stuck them. So I cut these panels out, stuck these over, and kind of got a nice little smattering, and then I've just trimmed off the edges of them. And I've done the same with these triangles here. So these are actually like square, but you'll see when I come to it. But that's what I've done. So I've made my own pattern paper using these stickers. I've also done the same with these. So with these here, and some of you might recognise these, the first ever unboxing I had from Journal Say, I got these stickers, and I got these in different colours. And what I've done is I've got my panel, I already cut it to size, and then I laid these on how I wanted them to be around the outside, stuck them down, and then just trimmed it off. So then you make your own pattern papers. So that's what I've done. That's just another way of using those stickers. So yeah. Who else have we got? Am I missing anybody? Hi Anne. Hi Elaine. Anybody else? No, I think that's it. Yeah. So that's what I've done with that. So I thought we'd do a similar thing with the one I'm going to do today. And I like it as well because obviously these flowers here I've then used coming out of the little pockets, and I've just added a little, I've left the backing on them and just put a little bit of red tape on the front and pop them behind. So then they kind of, you know, tie in with what's inside. But you could have little people popping out, little animals popping out. You could have all sorts going on. So yeah, so that is the card we're doing today. So let's grab our card that we need. So let's start with, oh, thank you Sherry. I was quite pleased with it, the way it turned out. So we're going to grab the backing card first. Let me put this to one side for the moment, because I'm sure people will come in and ask what card we're doing. So, hi Vet. Hi, Marianne's. I don't know, and Anne as well. I think I've had Anne as well. Right, okay, so you're going to need 2 pieces of base card. Now, this isn't that thick, so I wouldn't go too thick on it because you're going to add layers on it. But these need to be 7 by 10. And on both of these, you're going to score at 2.5 and at 5 along the long edge. And you can do the same on this one. So 2.5 and at 5. Okay, and that is what I'm going to use my scoreboard for, because the next bit of scoring or folding I'm going to do without a scoreboard because I find it works out better. So when you've got these, you want, this is going to be a mountain, this is going to be a valley. So we're going to go ahead and burnish those, fold and burnish. So let's just get these done. Oops. There we go. Excuse my phone going off. Let me just put it on silent so it doesn't keep making noises every 5 seconds. Oh, thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. I saw that. Okay. Right. Let's put it on Do Not Disturb. Hopefully that will make it not do its vibrating thing. Okay. So you should end up with 2 pieces that look like that. So we're going to take one of them, turn it round. Same sort of thing we did with the 6 by 6. And then I'm going to grab some glue. And we're just going to go ahead and add some glue onto here. And what I like about this card is you can change up those little pockets and you can reorient them however you want to. You can create patterns with them. You can create herringbones with them. You could stick certain bits of the pattern down, of the pockets down. You can do what you want. This one's going to go over the top. And also there's another little thing I want to do on today's card, just have a bit of a, because I had a bit of a play. I did some little sample ones and I had a bit of play with one of them, and I think I'm going to try that today and we'll see. But just to show you just all the different things you can do, really. So that is what you've got. So you've basically got like a gatefold. Don't worry about the fact you've got a gap in the middle. That doesn't matter really. If it bothers you, you could always trim a little bit off this one so then when it comes in, it meets in the middle. You can do that. So that's that. So what we're going to do next, actually we won't do this next. I'm going to do this a bit later down the line because I'm not sure exactly what I want to use. I'm thinking about making my own pattern papers again. I've got these stickers, these journals say again, but they're rather nice and they're the kind of right kind of colour. And again on white, I think they could be quite good. You can make up our own pattern papers again. So we've got that one which could potentially use. We've also got this one as well, which we could potentially use. But again, these might be quite nice popping out of the little envelopes. So again, these were all from my first craft haul from Journal Say. I don't know if they're still available. They might be, but they do change their stock quite quickly. So they might not. I'm not sure. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, thank you, Doris. I was quite impressed with it, actually. I was struggling at one point. I've also got these, which again you would have seen if you watch my Journal Say craft haul. And again, I don't know whether maybe I could use some of these. I've cut the little greetings off and just use the patterns themselves. But I've also got these big flowers and these florals. So I've got lots of different things I can choose from to make pattern papers out of. Right, so let's next up, let's grab, let's put this one to one side and we'll come back to this because I'm not quite sure what I want to do on the front yet. So you're going to need in total 6 pieces of base card, but you want to go thin. So this one here is actually, this is the card you get from Lidl, but you know they do card and then they also do the paper in the same like pads. So this is the paper version and I think it's about a 160. I think, I'm not sure. I haven't got a front cover to show, but it's about that, isn't it? It's not very thick. You don't want it to be very thick. Hi, Jenny. Yeah, you don't want it to be too thick. So this is kind of quite, it may be a 200 maximum, but you really don't want it, you know, origami paper is kind of better if you can. Anything from, I would say, 100 GSM up to 200 tops, 160 really, 160, 180 I would say maximum really. So on all of your 6 pieces, what you want to do... Oh, hi Terry. Good morning. You love PET stickers. You have so much. I need help using them in cards. Oh, good. Yes. No, I am. Yes, I will be showing you. I love them too. I didn't love stickers. I used to really hate stickers. And then when I saw journal saves ones, I was like, oh, actually, they're rather nice. And so, yeah, so it's always a bit of a mission to try and find ways to use them. But I really enjoy. And I was really pleased that I managed to do that with that card. I don't know if you saw that card, Terry, just now. Hopefully you did. This is the card we're making. So these are stickers, these little blossoms things. These are actual die cut stickers, and then these are PET stickers. And I've used some like that, and then I've used some on the inside there in the middle to make like a patterned bordered paper. So they're all, and all this as well. These are all stuck on. So they're all just the PET stickers. Okay, so with each of these 6 pieces that we have here, we want to fold them in half. Now, if you wanted to, you could score at 2 1/4, but I like to do it actually folding and burnishing, because then you know it's definitely going to be in half, and it just makes it a bit more accurate than scoring it. So you want to fold them in half both directions like that, and then turn it over and fold them in half diagonally, just once, just one diagonal fold. So you should end up with that. So if you do that with all of your pieces, so let's stick these down. Now this paper is a little bit thick for this, I have to say, but I thought I would just reuse the same colours that I've done on that sample card, and then I can show you different ways of, different ways you can mix it up with different stickers and different orientations, all the rest of it. Just remember that if you're doing your first lot of folds as valley folds, you need to turn it over and do the next lot as mounting. Okay. Pippa. Hi Pippa, don't worry. I'm glad to have you. Some new names in the live stream. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good to see new people. It's nice you come and comment as well. Join in the chat. What live stream's all about, isn't it? So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to take my time a bit with it just to make sure that it's right. Otherwise you end up with mistakes and problems. And we do end up, obviously you don't end up with the creases quite as sharp if you don't score, but I've found if you kind of marry up your line, crease the middle bit, and then go in with your bone folder, you can get quite a good crease on it, as long as I said, your card's not too thick. If your card's thick, you are going to struggle. Okay, turn it over and do the diagonal. So you could do this same technique if you wanted to on the square ones as well. Hi Julian. All right, let's add this in like this. That's that one. Oh, the sun's coming out now, which is nice to see. I like a snowy, sunny scene. Let's put that on there like that. And there we go. Oh, about to drop my gory thing on the floor. Right, last one. There we go, and half again. I don't often use this paper, this coloured paper, because it's quite thin. So it's no good for card bases. And it's not too thick for mats, but I just never use it. So I just thought, you know what? Let's use it. And also because it's kind of it's not quite A3, but it's almost A3. It works quite well. So when you get to this point, you then want to fold these down. So bring these 2 points in like that and fold the whole thing down to make a square. Then get your bone folder and just give it a bit of a burnish, because it will need a bit of telling what to do. And then you take this bit here and you fold this back on itself. Okay. like that. Just watch out on this corner here, because if that's not quite, if these corners aren't quite folded, it can tear. So just be a bit careful of that. We're going to do that with all of these. So again, just give them a good burnish and then fold these back on themselves like that. You've got loads of little paper. Oh, cool. Well, there you go. This is perfect then. I've got quite a bit. I have to say, I have got quite a bit. More of it is card than paper. But I do remember buying some of the paper and I just haven't really used it very much. But it's perfect for this. It's literally the heaviest you want to go. You don't want to go any heavier than this. But it's nice because it's double-sided. That's why I chose it. Because I really wanted a double. I didn't want to be dealing with a single-sided. And also because I had a bit of a cull of papers, I've kind of not got as much choice of pattern papers as I used to. And some of the ones I had, I couldn't get very many out of it. Whereas with this, because it's like A3, you can get like, you know, enough out of them. Oops, let's bring this one in. There we go. Usually when I fold small squares, but they end up being a star booklet. Yeah, it can be a bit of a battle, but as I said, as long as you haven't gone too thick with your paper, then you'd be okay. Right, and so like that. Now, there's all my pieces done. So I had a thought, and the thought is, so on this one, as you can see, I've stuck them on so that they're left and right. Now, originally, I was thinking about doing them like this. Let me lay them all out. So what I would do is, get them folded, and then you can work out. So that is what I was thinking of. And if you were doing a Christmas card, that might be quite good because you can make that look a bit like a Christmas tree. So that's a possibility. So this is what I was thinking about doing. However, I was considering whether we also fold these little triangles as well. So if you remember, I showed you this at the beginning. This was like my little sample one to see what it looks like. So what I've done is you can actually make them like little boats as well. But what I did was I actually folded these back, and I quite like that. It's just a little bit extra, but I quite like it. So I was wondering about having them this way, but also folding all of these back. So I think we're going to try that. I've not done it, so I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but I think it's going to work. So what you'd need to do is you take your little triangle that you've got here, and you're going to fold it down like that, and then stick it down. I did have another little play with a different kind of fold, but it meant that it came outside of the square footprint. So there's that one. So we're going to do that with this as well. And so you don't have to do this. You could also stick certain bits down if you want to make a little pocket. There's all different things you could do. There really is. I just thought, let's have a bit of a play. And if we use the same papers as I've used for the sample card, you can kind of see the two different variations. And again, this is another reason why you don't want in too thick card, because if you want to start going off pieced, then you want to be able to, be able to fold things and not have to battle with it. Okay, so that's that one. I mean, you could make do it as if it's like a normal napkin in the middle, but it just means then you'd have two, either top or bottom, that don't quite go. So, and again, this looks super complicated, but as you can see, it's really not. It's really not complicated. I would do the first few folds first and then decide what you want to do with the rest of your, whether you want to keep folding or if you want to stop like I did with the sample card, or what you want to do. Okay, one more. So I might change the orientation of these round now that I've done this extra fold. We will see what we think's best. Again, if you lay them all out on your desk, then you will get to see. So that's what I've got so far. So we could do it like that. we could do it like this, which would be the same orientation as I've got, but obviously with the extra fold. So that's quite cool. You could do it like this, which means you then don't really have pockets. That's the only thing to bear in mind if you can do it like this way. What else could you do? Like this. You could make it into a, you could do like that, so you've actually got a square in the middle, but then you'd end up with an odd one here. So you could do it something like that, or you could turn these around so they're all the same way. That's kind of interesting, but I think I prefer them to be, let's go back to this way again, because this is what I was thinking of doing. I think I'm going to go with this. Yeah, I think I might go with that, maybe. Sorry, they're a bit wonky. Fiddling with them. I think like that, maybe. I quite like that one. What do we think? Do we think this way? Or do we think the orientation I had them a minute ago? So like that, or with the triangles on the outside like that. I quite like that because I've already done it. I kind of wanted to do something different. And also I can still use them as pockets, so they can still have flowers coming out of them. I'll leave that there, and you can have a bit of a vote. Put what you think in the chat. And while we're doing that, I am going to work out what we need to do for the inside. So I have got all these different things. So I was considering, so these are my white, I'm going to use white again and stick stickers on. I'm going to do that again. I do need another piece of, I have actually got a bit of white here. Got a bit of white. That would be my writing, the piece to write on. This is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. You need 2 of those. You need one on the inside, one on the back, if you're going to do it that way around. You like this way too? Yeah, I just think it's just going to be different. That's what I'm thinking. I want to do something a bit different to the other one. So then we've got options. And then we've got these purple. So my thoughts were, where you've got, in a minute, we're going to cut these into triangles, and I'll give you the measurements for those in a minute. And what I was thinking, on each of those triangles, you could have like a floral border, but you could also use these to pop out. So that was an option. I've also got these as well. So again, this is another option. Let's go the other way. Where's the thing? Hang on a second. Let me work out where the end is. Oh, it's there. Okay. Oh. So I've also got these. So again, I was thinking maybe on the little board, all these can be popping out. See, these might be quite nice on the back there. Yeah, everyone likes it this way. Cool. Okay, so we'll stick with this way then. So that was an option. What was my other option? Oh yeah, I've got these. That was for the inside, I was thinking, but they're quite large, but they're all kind of bluey purpley, so they kind of sort of pinky purpley, so they kind of go. I've also got these as well. These possibles were coming out. So I'm not really sure. So these, I've got all of these ones. Again, these could be like popping out of flowers. I mean, they're quite big, but I could also use them as a background. They could maybe go on the inside. Oh, so much choices. So many choices. Okay, so since we like it this way, let me go ahead and stick this down, and then we'll work out what we're going to do for the paper. So this is the bit where you do need to concentrate, because I accidentally stuck one of mine on the wrong way round when I did my sample card. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm just going to put some glue on here. Now these work out to be about 2 1/4, which is slightly smaller than what you have here on this edge. So you're going to stick it down, and you're going to make sure you've got a little bit of a border left, right, and at the bottom. Okay, just a little bit of a border, and it should be kind of even, to be honest, and you can't really see it very well. The colour on my screen looks a bit weird, but the colour on my tablet looks better. So anyway, right, I'm going to start at the bottom, work my way up. So we're going to go ahead and stick these down. So let's do that. And I'll try and line it up with the one next door. Like that. They do a bit, don't they? They do a bit. Yeah, I mean, if you want, you could really be clever if you found some paper that was maybe, I don't know, the right colour for tulips on one side, or you know, added little triangles on of pattern paper that maybe make, you know, accentuate the tulip thing. Could really go to town. Right, I'm just going to put this one at the top and just make sure I've got that. Yeah, so I can shimmy that down a little bit. There we go. There isn't a real small gap top-wise in between each square than there is on the side. The side's a slightly bigger gap than the left and right. The top and bottom, sorry. But you see, so what I mean, you could really, and you could do this on that 6x6 one if you wanted. That 6x6 where we had it as a napkin fold. Instead of doing the napkin fold thing, you could just cut out squares that work, that are the right size, you know, for your triangles, you know, for your folded bits, and then stick them on separately rather than having it as a whole panel like we did on the 6x6. So it really is quite cool. Just make sure you concentrate when you're sticking these down, as I said, because it's very easy to stick them the wrong way. Especially if, like me, you get in a bit of a muddle with angles and triangles and things. Okay, let's stick that one down there. And then let's stick this one down. I keep looking to double check that I've actually stuck it down properly. If I stuck them the right way. There we go. That one goes on there like that. Okay. So that's all your things stuck down. So now we just need to work out what we want to do on here. Now I quite like the idea of having these. I quite like these because these do really go colour wise. Of having these just inside the pockets. So I can imagine that little flower just inside there. Like that. I quite like that. And because I've got different ones as well, I think I might do that. And then we'll work out what we want to put on here. It's just trying to make sure you get everything to fit in with each other. So these are more, see, these also then go with these color wise. So I could use these on the back and the sides. So I might well use those on the back and the sides. These in the pockets, and then this front section here. If I had pattern paper that all went, I would probably use pattern paper, but I just thought, let me use stickers and then we can kind of, you know, work out what we want to do. So I could maybe use the wreaths, might work. Oh, I might use the wreaths because I have got multiples of these, so I can actually make them the same. One thing I really wanted to use was the lace, you know, the lace tape that I got recently. Let me see if I can find it. This one here. I wanted to use this. This is what I used on, oh, you haven't seen it yet, but the 5x7 landscape one that I did. I actually wanted to use these because these are really pretty, and I was thinking like this, for example, the white one. Imagine that on there because it's about the right width. But the problem is I'd have to go like here to get it on, and the problem is that I've only got that one. So I've got that in white, that pattern in white, and I've got it in pink. So I'd have to have different lace on each of my corners. So I thought, I don't want to have different. I want to keep it, you know, otherwise it just gets a bit too much. Could you poking out from behind the fold? Yeah, I quite like that. I think we're going to do that with these. If you fold the back of the square behind on a diagonal, you get a heart. Ah, yeah. There you go then, Valentine's Day. Perfect. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with these whole flowers in the backs, and then I'm going to go with these onto the white just here, because then each one will have a thingy on it. So to start with, I think what the best thing to do is, I think it's best to get these stuck in. We probably should have done them before we stuck them down, but I quite like the fact you can see where they are. So let's pick a, because we've got repeats here, which is helpful. So I quite like the butterfly one. I think I want a butterfly at the top here. So I think one of these two, he's quite nice as well. I think we'll go with this one. As you can see, they peel off quite easily. There we go. This one here is going to go up here. So I'm going to open this up a little bit and just stick that in. Oh. Didn't want to have to open it up fully, but I might have to. Just see if we can kind of bend it a little bit. There, like that. Bit of a butterfly coming out of there. Then I feel like we could do with another butterfly there. Let's have a think about this. So you could put these onto white and stick them on, but I'm just going to stick them straight on because I'm going to do white here, and I think that will probably work. So we could do with a butterfly. So where's the repeat? The repeat's up to here. Okay. Hi, Bobby. Oh, Bobby, I need you to check your Pinterest messages, please. I've sent you a message about email address and telephone number so I can send your prize to you. So if you can just reply to that, I can get your thing in the post, your parcel in the post. Right, I think I'm going to go with this one over here. I've got one here that's used to send. There we go. So that is going to go in here. Usually if my head gets in the way. There we go. That one's there. And then I want another butterfly or something. I might use that bird one, actually. I quite like that bird one. I feel like that works quite well. Hi, Patricia. Good to see you. Right, let's... There we go. This one's going to go in here. The problem with these, are a bit staticky, so you have to be a bit careful. They don't just decide to stick. I'm actually going to open this up a little bit, this one. Just so I can get in there. I want my bird to be the right way round. Do it like that. Yeah. Like that. Oh yeah, that's good. That fits nicely. Okay, and then these will just be flowers. So let's go with... I'm going to go with that one up there. I'm going to open them up because it's just easier to stick them down and open up. Okay. Let's do that one there. Like that. If you do head over to Journal Say, don't forget to use my code. I'll put it up on the screen now. Oh, no, it's the wrong one. Oh, dear. There we go. Don't forget to use my code. It'll get you 8% off your order, but it also helps me out as well. So, and then I think if we go with this one over here. So this one's going to go in here. Let's open this up. Ooh. And we'll go with it like that, I think. If I don't go over the edge too much. There we go. And then we want one in here. That's got a bit of green in it. Has it got too much green? Mind you, most of the green's going to get hidden. I could go with that one, or I could go with that one. Where's that? Oh, that's that. That's there, though. No, I think I'll go with that green one. Let's go with that green one. So let's go with, where was it? This one. There we go. So that is going to go in there, because most of that green leaf you're not going to see. If you angle it like that. There we go. So that's what we've got so far. Quite pretty. And then we're going to do these triangles. So what we need to do is you are going to need 3 pieces of base card, not base card, mat card. Oh, I've got 4 pieces. Why have I got 4 pieces? You need 3, you don't need 4. Not have to cut too many. And these measure, she says, forgetting what they measure. These measure 2 by 2. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead actually and make life a little bit easier for myself. And I'm going to stick these on like that and then cut them. I think. Yeah, because then we'll get a nice line. So I'm just going to stick these square in the middle. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick these square in the middle like that. Like that. No, like that. Let's go with that. Like that, I think. Or as square as you can get it. Like that. So 1. I don't really want the green ones too much. I want these ones really. And then this one. 2. And not that one. We want this one. 3. I'm glad I'm able to use these because I hadn't used these yet. So I'm glad that I can finally use them. Let's just roll these back up again. Like that. As I said, you can use pattern paper if you want to, but just really wanted to have a go with these. Right, so now we need to cut all these in half diagonally. So let me grab my cutting mat. Obviously you can use a guillotine if you want. It's a bit easier if you do. So I'm going to go, just choose the best corner to corner, the best looking corner to corner. The other thing as well is if you've got to stick these down with tape, put tape on the back before you cut them. I'm going to be using glue. So that's that one. This one's not quite as central as I would have liked it to be, but let's go this way around and then it's not quite so obvious. There we go. And then this one, again, I think I'll probably go that way around. Not going to matter too much. Okay. So that is that. So let's put the cutting mat away. Bring this back in. And let's go ahead and stick these in. So they're going to go like that. So let's go ahead and stick them on. I say pattern papers would be way easier, but you know. It's trying to draw the line between enough interest and not too much. So yeah. And then these should fit nicely within those like that. I probably should have done white behind there to make them pop a bit more, but anyway, we didn't, so it is what it is. Yeah, I think white squares in there would have been good. But never mind. It's also difficult making decisions on a live because when I'm normally, like when I did that sample card, it took me ages to work out what I was going to stick and where I was going to stick it and how I was going to stick it. And oh my goodness. Obviously, when you're on live, you haven't really got that kind of time to do that kind of thing. So we just have to go with the flow and hope for the best. Okay. Oh, you like it, Carrie? Good. I'm glad. It's very springy, isn't it? It's very much lifting from the dull, you know, January's supposed to be all depressing and whatever. But I'm determined that this January is not going to be depressing. I'm going to try and do lots of floral, springy, bright, nice things. Okay, let's just get that a bit straighter. There we go. And then this one. And I still need to cut out my white pieces for inside because I haven't done that yet. I've done one of them, but I need to cut out a few more. Didn't get around to doing my panels. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. I quite like that. It's quite nice. That's what we've got so far. And then inside, we need, let me grab some more white paper. I'll move my tablet out of the way. Oh, it's attached. Okay. Right, let me grab some white. Now then, what does that measure? 4 and 3. Oh, it's 5. That's good. Okay. Right, I'm going to have to unplug my tablet, even though it's charging, so I can use. So we need 2 pieces that are 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So there's 2 pieces, and then we need 2 pieces that are 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. I think that's right. Is that right? Let me just double check my measurements. Yeah, 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. So 2 1/4. Right? Yeah, that's right. 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. There's one. Can I get it out of that? Oh, it's just a little bit too short. That's a shame. Okay, what about one of these? Got loads of little off-cutty bits. Too narrow. Okay, let's get a new piece of A4 out then. And 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. There we go. 2 pieces done. Let's stick this back up. Yeah. Oh. And plug my tablet back in again so it doesn't end up dying in the middle of the live. Let's just plug that in. Move that out of the way. Right. Okay. So now for the inside here, obviously we're going to have 2 pieces here. We're going to have 1 piece there, and then you've got a white bit on the back. I've got a thank you, which I've already cut out. So what I was thinking was, these are very similar in colour to what we've got, and they're enormous. Look at them, but look how beautiful these are. So I thought, why don't we make up our own pattern paper using these? And we can go all over pattern paper because we're going to be I might actually do this, you know. Could actually do it before you cut it up. You could actually cut a piece out that's the right size, and then so this, if you wanted to do it this way, you'd cut a piece out that is 9 1/4 by 6 3/4, and then you could then trim it up after, which would be good. Patricia, you received your candy cane die. Oh, good, from I Love Arts, but you're still waiting for your hope die. Ordered back in October. Okay, all right. I will. I'll email them. They've actually emailed me today, so I will see what I can. I'll reply back to their email and I'll ask them what's happening with it. It might be that it's out of stock. They might be waiting for it to be restocked. That's a big possibility. So with this pack here, we've got 2 of each. So we could do like a real, you know, we could really go for it on here if we wanted to. I quite like the idea of overlapping like this and doing the same on both sides. So if we overlap like that, and then we've got this one here, which we could put up the top like that, and like that. So that could be the sides. It will automatically come over a little bit onto here, and then we could do some extra in the middle here. I'm not quite sure. We could put these in. We're going to have a bit of a gap, but if we move that in a bit more, we might be able to make it work somehow. Like that, maybe. And then, because I've got that thank you, but that thank you is on white. Where's it gone? What did I do with it? There it is. That thank you is a white with a lilac. So if it goes on top of a flower, it will stand out better. So if we maybe have a bit of a play around, we could go like this and like that, couldn't we? And then this one would go in the middle like that. I mean, it's a bit symmetrical, but and then cut it down. Kind of like the idea of it not being quite so symmetrical and ordered. Hi, Lorraine. Yes, indeed. Don't worry. Okay, let's go with then these in the middle here. Over the top or underneath? I think over the top. Over the top, like that. And then we could do one here. And one here. Like that. I think that could work. They're quite big, but I just think and that goes in the middle. Oh, yes. Yeah, I might go with that. It's very ordered. You could make it more random if you want to, but I quite like the fact it's a bit like that. So I've got to look for what's underneath. So this one's underneath. So I'm going to move these out of the way. And we're going to stick this one down. Now you can either use your fingers with these, and they do peel off quite nicely, or you can use a pin. Right, so we're going to do it about there. I want it to be off the edge. So I'm going to go with that there like that. Okay, and then we want this one over the top, because these two are over the top. So that one's over the top of that one. And try and make sure I get as much over the top as possible. Now let's take this one off. Stick this one down. Like that. And then this one's going to go over the top like that. So let's grab this one. Put that down on there like that. And then we want to do the same over this side. This one is going over the top. We'll do those two in a minute, and we'll do that one in a minute. Let's go on this side again. Okay. Let's grab this. And we're going to go about, I need to make sure we cover up as much white as possible. About there, I reckon. Yep. And then we want to do this one. It's very much big and bold, this is, compared with what's on the inside, but I think it'll be okay. If you don't try, you won't know, eh? That right there. And then this one goes in the middle here, the bottom here. there. Yep. And then we need these two and that one. So we're going to go with, which one comes first? Oh, I've accidentally stuck part of that down. That's fine. Right, we're going to go with this top one first. They're beautiful, aren't they, Pippa? They really are beautiful. See, again, I would not normally use stickers, but these are just they're so beautiful. And they're just so useful, basically, to use. They're so versatile. Right, I'm going to pop these two on, and then that one's going to go at the bottom there, over the top. So let's do these two next. So I'm going to go with this one first. And as I said, as you can see, they peel off really easily. Some of them peel off better than others, but I find if any stubborn ones, just use a pin on the edge, and then they usually just come off. But look how beautiful they are. And you can make your own pattern papers. They're just fabulous. They really are. And they're not expensive. That's the other thing. They really are not expensive. And I think they ship to pretty much everywhere. Well, they could have done with coming down a little bit. But anyway, never mind. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just move this one up a little bit more. Okay. So there we go. So that is all of your... Oh, let me just move all these backings off. That's used an entire pack of stickers, which is fine. So now what I'm going to do is grab my cutting mat. I'm just going to grab the edge of this card, peel it up like that, bring it over here, and you could do it with it this way round if you wanted to. You could slice it this way round. I'm just a bit concerned about it moving, so I'm going to go this way around instead. And then we just need a ruler and a Stanley knife. Ah, okay, Bobby. Try and, with the phone number, try and put in maybe part of it, like half of it. Just put a few numbers and then put in another few numbers. Do you know what I mean? Like do the first part of it, then do the lot. So do first part, send it. Second part, send it, and hopefully, and don't say it's your telephone number. Just put numbers in, and then hopefully it will take it. Or say, I don't know, make it into a sentence. Do you know what I mean? Because I will know what it is. And then they'll just think you're making a sentence rather than, because I know that they do it to protect people, but there's ways around it. So yeah, if you do it that way, or you can just email me, or not email, message me on Reddit or Instagram if you've got those. Right, let's do this down here. I need to be quite careful that I don't. Let me get this nice and accurate. Let's go down this way quickly. Okay, there we go. Just tear that. I'll do that in a minute. And then, because I haven't quite got them lined up, so that's why I want to do these. That's there, and that is there. I just need to remember which way round these are, because I've made them so they kind of follow on. Okay, so that is that one. There we go. And then we just need to trim the little bits off the edge of those. Cool. So then let's trim this bit here. Like you could maybe, I'm just thinking, well, that worked. Okay, good. Good. Oh, Nicole, you did it through Etsy. Okay, cool. I should check my Etsy. I didn't realise you'd done it through Etsy. Right, okay, yeah, I'll get back to you. I will check my Etsy messages then. I forgot about Etsy. Yeah, I shall check that. Right, that's all of that one done. So that's that way up. And then we've got this one. Let's trim the rest of this off. Oh. That. Sticking to me. Get up. Right, and then this one. You can use scissors as well. That's the other thing. But I did use scissors than the sample and end up with very sticky scissors. So unless you wipe it with a baby wipe each time you cut, you could end up with problems. Is that side? No, it's this side. Okay, there we go. And then this one. Right, let's stick these down. They're such cool stickers. They really are. And these large ones, I was a bit like, oh, when they get, because I like them. I was like, how am I going to use them? They're massive. But this is the perfect way to use them. I mean, they'd be nice as well as like a focal, you know, like a topper. You can make a topper out of them quite nicely. I mean, there's so much you can use them for. I mean, they're kind of aimed at like journaling and stuff, but I don't really do. I mean, I still need to do my scrapbook for last year because I did want to scrapbook last year. I'm just trying to find some photos from the beginning part of the year so I can get them in. Okay, right, let's move these out of the way and then we can bring this in and show you where we're up to. Okay, so these need to go in here. So let's stick these panels down. I like them as well because they've got, I don't know if you can see, they're just slightly, if you can see, they're slightly shiny in certain places. They're matte in some places. And then like where these, so where this light pink is kind of matte, and all the black and the darker colours are all shiny. So you've got that texture as well, which is really nice. They really are very special. Hi, Benita. Oh, snowy Sweden. Yeah, we've got a bit of snow, but probably nothing like you guys have got over there. I'm sure you've got tons of it. Fabulous. I love a bit of snow. And you guys in Sweden as well, you have lakes that ice over enough that you can ice skate, haven't you? Which sounds incredible. That sounds like such fun. That sounds like a good plan. I used to have friends who lived in Sweden. I've been to Sweden a few times. Love it. It's a beautiful country. Absolutely. I haven't been when it's snowy. I'd love to come over while it's snowy. Absolutely would love to. Okay. Stick this on here. Like that. And then let's stick this one down. This is it's quite a busy card. I wouldn't normally go quite so busy, but I do quite like it. I do quite like it. I think it's quite nice. And I'm really impressed at how well these colours go with everything. Okay, now before I put the thank you on, I want to put the white piece on the back. So let me take this and turn it over. Ooh. And then, so I've completely finished that entire pack. I will try and list these below. Right, let's stamp a greeting. I'm sure I've got a better thank you than that one. I've got quite a small thank you there, but I think I've got a nicer thank you somewhere. Let me see if I can find a nicer thank you. Oh, I've got this one. This one works. I've got this thank you ever so much. I've got that one. I think I'll go with that one. These are card making and paper craft from who knows when. I don't even know when these were from. 2016, maybe? Don't know. Yeah, it is quite a lot of flowers, I have to say. It is a lot of flowers. I understand where you're coming from on that, Lou. I do. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, Benita? I've done similar. So I did a 12 or 6x6 one. This is quite vintagey, and this is not me at all. This is not my colours, but I actually quite like it. I actually quite like them. I mean, the idea was for like a mail card, but yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Sometimes you do stuff and it's like, oh, actually, yeah, it's a lot of flowers. I do agree. I think I probably would have gone back a bit more, but I know people who will love that amount of flowers, so you know, it's fine. Right, let's give this a quick stamp and get my wet wipes ready. Okay. go. Let's give it a stamp. There we are. I always cut my wet wipes into quarters. That's why I've got such a small piece here. Because you don't need that much to wipe a stamp down. So I always do a little bit and then I might leave that thank you in there. It's kind of useful. Right, let's stick this down the back. Exactly, Pippa, that's the thing. And I think that's why I don't mind so much. Because sometimes I make a card, I'm like, that's a bit busy. There's quite a lot of flowers going on. But the thing is, I always know there's going to be somebody who will like it. And it also then, because I've seen it, I can then go, oh, okay, right, if I do this again, I won't do it like that, or I'll use pattern papers, or I can adjust it slightly, but I kind of have to do it in order to see what's right and what's wrong with it. Otherwise, I struggle to see it. Okay, so that's that. Let's flip it over, and then I'm going to put that's a lot of flowers in the middle. My thank you in the middle. Does the thank you stands out a bit better though. But yeah, it is a lot of flowers. I would agree. I would agree. Where's my? There we go. And now again, I wouldn't normally put it on pads, but most of my cards get hand delivered, so especially thank you cards. So I'm going to go for it because it makes it stand out, makes it pop a little bit more. So let's just go for it. There we go. Take the backing off. And then put that in the middle. Okay. Just trying to get things straight as well these days. Think about there. Yeah, there we go. Right. So there you have it. Let me move these out of the way. There you have it. It's very busy, but I do quite like it. And I feel like it's definitely, you could definitely simplify it right down. You really could simplify it right down. It is very busy. It's a real wow. My gosh. Like this is like, oh, okay, that's wow. And you're like, oh my goodness, wow. Woo! It's like, like a proper, and there's the other one. This one's a bit more toned down. It's still a bit busier than I would have gone, but it's still busy in the inside. But again, you could tone it down. You really could. So yeah, so there you go. 2 different ideas. And I've just literally used the same papers for each one. So that shows you. And again, I think if you went all the same colour on the front, that would also help. Rather than having the tone, the 2-tone. But there you go. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed it. Good, thank you, Bobby. Thank you. So yeah, there you go. So obviously don't forget to go over to Journal Say and don't forget to use my code because it will get you 8% off, but it also helps me out because I get commission every time anybody buys something. It's not a lot of commission, but every little helps. Do you know what I mean? Like I might get £1 here, £1 there, but every little helps. So yeah, we're just trying to keep the channel going really, and trying to make sure that I don't have to, go off and find other ways to earn money, which then means I can't do the channel anymore. So yes. So yeah, but I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Oh, hi Laurie. You have to go shopping now. You do, Pippa. You do have to go shopping now. Trust me, they're so cheap. They're so cheap. The stickers are so cheap. They're ridiculous. They're ridiculous. And you know me, I'm not going to promote a product I don't like myself. So I always order stuff and go with stuff that I actually like myself. I'm not going to, go for otherwise. So yeah. Right. I'm going to poodle off. I hope you all enjoyed that. And yeah, I will be doing a tutorial for this. So if you want to catch up and you don't want all the chat, I will do a tutorial for this. I'll probably just edit this live stream. Probably easier. I might do another one. Depends if I get time. I might do another one and do a different orientation and do plainer colours and pattern papers. So that might be, yeah, I might do that. We'll see. You shop your stash. Yeah, that's the best way, Benita, to be fair. I try and do that, apart from when I get sent stuff. Nicole, thank you very much. Yeah, cool. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Beth. Right, I'm going to poodle off, and I will see you all again next week. So have a wonderful week. And yeah, I'll see you all again next week. Bye, everyone.